Some guidance here on how to set up the calculations for this lab. I wanted to direct you here to equation 1, which you can see in your lab manual, and you can see how it's set up. It says moles AA per litre. Well, that's basically the molarity of ascorbic acid. And this is how we're going to determine, first of all, the molarity of the iodine that we're using. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this tablet here. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to start off with the molarity of ascorbic acid. Then we're going to multiply that by the litres of ascorbic acid. Now the litres will come from the millilitres of ascorbic acid used. So you'll have to do that conversion as well. And then that's multiplied by the mole ratio. So it's going to be 1 mole of I2 for every 1 mole of ascorbic acid. Now I'll show you where I'm getting that from. I'm getting it from here, from the reaction. This is ascorbic acid that I'm pointing to right here. This is iodine that I'm pointing to right here. As you can see, it's a 1-to-1 mole ratio because this is a balanced reaction right here. Then it's times 1 over, and this is going to be the litres of I2 or iodine, which of course you'll get from the millilitres of iodine that you used to actually do the initial titration. All right, so now that'll get you through to the first part. That'll give you a value. Of course, it'll be the molarity molar of I2 is what you'll get there as an answer. Then to do the second part, you've got to think, well, what are you starting with and what are you looking for? Now you've got to remember that you're looking for the ascorbic acid. So you've got to be thinking about how to set that up. Now I'm not going to tell you exactly how to set it up, but I am going to give you some hints here. If you look at how we set this one up here, we were looking for the molarity of I2. So we're looking for the molarity of I2, and that's what we ended up with down here. What did we start with though? We started with the molarity of ascorbic acid, and we multiplied that by the litres of ascorbic acid. And then we went through and did the dimensional analysis from here, and we ended up getting, see, this ended up being molarity, which is moles per litre. That's how it's set up on the. That's how it's set up down here in the equation, and you can see how this will end up cancelling. So that cancels, and that cancels as well. And look what we end up with at the end. We end up with moles I2 over litres I2. So when we're looking for the second part, you've got to be thinking, well, what are we going to start with? Well, you're looking for the ascorbic acid, so you're going to be starting with the molarity of I2. So you've got to be thinking about that. And remember, look in the first step here for how you set up the ascorbic acid. It was molarity times the volume of ascorbic acid.